So it's very important that institutes works very closely with whatever the initiatives that we have. Could be at a national level, there is a centralized repository of images. Then probably it'll be easy for the AI scientists and AI engineers to actually build the solutions faster. And I agree that data is not available. Especially there is quite a big bias on international imageries and data and information. There is also a bias about the male-dominated information compared to the women data. Being a pharmacologist, I speak about clinical trials. So in clinical trials, we usually allow men to participate. Women are excluded during the reproductive age group, and very few studies are conducted. So if we look at if a drug is working on men, I'm not sure whether it is working on women or not because the study is not been conducted. Yeah. Similarly, and then when I look at the similar data in India, we do not have data at all. But I believe that you work quite closely with the institutes, and now there is a change where it'll help to access the information that is available.
Yeah. So before I answer the question, I'll touch upon the topic what you're saying about bias on a funny way. Today, WhatsApp also has something called as Meta AI. Right? So you can ask WhatsApp to generate an AI image. So I urge all the viewers of the podcast also to try it out. If they just type on Meta AI and say, can you give me an image of a professor walking out from an institute? 90% of the times, probably 100% of the times, it will give an image of a professor who's a male, who's Caucasian, walking out of a large institution. Why? Why can't women be professors?
Correct.
Why can't they be walking out of Indian institutions?
Yes.
Why should they be Caucasian? Why not Asian?
Correct.
So these biases do exist. That's because how the systems are trained. Right? True. Coming back to your question of working along with institutions. What has happened with time and of course post-COVID, it has opened up many more doors of collaboration. So while in earlier days, as doctors, we used to work in a particular silo and there were innovation and research happening within the medical establishments also. And similarly, within a lot of research institutions and engineering institutions, there used to be a lot of research which used to happen. There was minimal collaboration between both of them. Cross-talking used to be very limited. Now, beyond just talking to each other and reading about each other, they are working together. So today, like where I work within the Indian Institute of Science, there are a good number of doctors who are coming in and working within the Indian Institute of Science. And similarly, there are a lot of engineers who are working along with a lot of hospitals today. So on data science related innovations and things what can help them in enhancing the delivery, etc. Which has led to a lot more meaningful innovations which have come in, which are getting implemented and tested and tried out in healthcare delivery and practice.
I would like to focus on more of a startups. Once we discuss about the startups and funding and everything, because I think you are the right person to speak on behalf of startup, being a CEO of one of the company in the past and then raising funds and other things. So you have been there, done that. And later probably I'm interested in speaking like a person who is representing patients or people community. I would like to speak to you as a mother of a teenage girl, probably a daughter of a patient who's suffering from diabetes, and then understand how AI is helping me and my family and probably my friends and my team. Okay, that will go next. But before that, what are the startups that you have seen that recently that you think that it's solving the problem that we have discussed initially? And are there any few startups that you would like to mention now over this platform?
So today there are multiple startups which have ventured into the space of artificial intelligence, right? So who have been using the technology like data science or machine learning or artificial intelligence or large language models or all of them. In today's era, AI has become a lot more multimodal. Like we were just talking about X-ray Setu and other things where we were only using an image-based analysis. Today, multimodal technologies are a mainstay for most of these things. When I say multimodal, where they are using not just one source of data. It can be image data where I'm using maybe like an X-ray or a CT or a scan, etc. Plus there is patient history which is coming in. plus there might be lab investigations, plus there might be your genetic information. All of them put together give me a lot more accurate information. There are a lot of startups who are getting into this space because multimodal data access and models which work on such kind of algorithms have become accessible. So some of them which have done really well, and again who are from Bangalore where I am from and gone really global are you would have heard of Qure.ai. Qure.ai is doing really well in the space of radiology. They are again gone multimodal in tuberculosis diagnosis, etc., where they are analyzing not just X-rays, but also along with X-rays and CT scan, they're analyzing patient data, etc., to come up with better predictions on diagnosis on using X-rays. Niramai is another big startup who is solving a very big problem for women. So here in India, especially when we talk about some concerns which are very specific to women, something like a breast cancer, there's a lot of stigma associated, and also women are not open about discussing or even getting diagnosed. So it's very easy to say go get a scan done. For a woman to go get a mammograph done, it's still not so comfortable for women. Here, right? So where Niramai has come up with a fairly simple application where they're using a heat scan kind of a application and using AI to diagnose, rather screen for breast cancer, and it will help screen for breast cancer at a very early stage. So it will help diagnosing the risk of breast cancer in women much earlier, and also without them getting a mammograph. So it can identify and tell which women need to go and get a mammogram further. And also there is lesser stigma associated with it, and it can be done in settings like a public healthcare, primary healthcare kind of setups. You need not go to a bigger hospital kind of setup, which is helping solve a very big problem of screening and early diagnosis of breast cancer. While we are talking about these problems, there are some problems which we generally not even talk about because breast cancer kills a lot of people, and we know there is a lot of data. So all these things, there are a lot of problems what we don't even talk about. These are mental health problems, right? So we as doctors know how big an issue it is. But when you speak to a lot of general public, and including us as adults, we try to write it off. If somebody comes and says, I'm feeling sad today, it's like, it's okay, you'll feel fine. Maybe not. And what has moved on is people have become really comfortable talking to applications today. It can be just WhatsApp. We are so comfortable talking to people on WhatsApp. We are not so comfortable today talking to another person. Similar thing has happened with respect to mental health startups. Viz.ai is one of the startups which is in that direction, where they're using AI-driven models to help connect and rather screen for mental health diseases. Last time I spoke to them, they were running large clinical trials to understand how the software is functioning with respect to the accuracy and specificity, sensitivity, etc. They have been using a lot of sandboxed data to help and suggest what should be the next action when they identify anybody with a mental health condition. They have been doing really well. So there are multiple such kind of solutions. We were just chatting about the diabetic foot and kind of problems what we have. This is again a very big problem in India, but we don't talk about. There is a limb lost in the world every 20 seconds.
Amputation.
So, there's a limb getting amputated every 20 seconds.
Correct.
By the time I said this, there are 2 limbs gone. And most of it is because of diabetic foot. And India is the diabetes capital of the world. Having said that, most of us neglect when there is a small wound in my foot going to a doctor because it might cost me high, or you don't know where to go to, etc. There is a startup which we are supporting through ARTPARK and developed by a podiatric or a foot surgeon, which helps you identify if a wound is a diabetic wound, if a wound is actually improving with time or worsening with time. Should I consult a specific kind of a doctor, or what am I supposed to do with a specific wound? And it also helps you tell what kind of footwear I'm supposed to wear. So these are kind of some examples of startups which have used AI in multiple levels to help real world problems.
Okay, beautiful. Like when you were speaking about Niramai, every year we see during World Women Health Day, I think 8th of March is there. Or if we look at the Breast Cancer Awareness Week that we celebrate, there are many pinkathons that are happening, and all they do is like everyone. And I was in Bangalore, and that time I remember there was a marathon at Embassy Golf Link. Some event was there. I participated. I clicked the pictures. I posted it on social media. I was very happy about it. That was long before I got into business and other things. And we invest money into those kind of events. What if there is a collaboration with Niramai kind of organizations, and during the Breast Cancer Awareness Week, every person in the family should actually encourage the women to get screened, than actually running and clicking the pictures and posting it on social media. Or probably Women Health Day, when we celebrate, we screen and if we invest that money that is going for the marathon and everything to actually screen the women, collaborating with organizations like Niramai, will solve a bigger problem. I feel that even for me, I do annual health checkup, but if you'll ask me that whether I'm motivated enough to keep myself screening, it's not. But if my family is encouraging me, taking me like chalo kar lete hai karke, I might do it, and these mass level screening programs might help, but requires funds which can come from events like these pinkathon events and so many celebrations that happens, right? So